Hello, everybody. I hope you are dropping in. Come on in, come into the room. I hope you are as excited as I am. I think it was last week or week before. There's this post that this young lady dropped, and it was in regards to Chat GPT and a LinkedIn carousel. For those of you that don't know what a carousel is, she's going to explain it. For those of you that's been living under a rock and don't know what Chat GPT is, she's going to explain it. Along with some other things, the prompts, how to use it to really make it work for you and to do some of the things that we all have been, I won't say wasting time, but spending a lot of time doing. And this AI tool is just, it is a welcome tool, I will say. So, we're going to go ahead and jump in. So, first of all, welcome to Savvy Business Podcast. We're excited to have this conversation. I can't wait to get into it. And we're going to be talking about, like I said, ChatGPT, all of those things. So, let's jump in, get started. And I'm going to do a brief introduction to introduce you to Isabella. She is, of course, the owner of Fame Hackers, is an AI powered marketing agency. They help grow and monetize personal brands leveraging LinkedIn and YouTube. In addition, she assists in AI deployment for organizations who want to integrate AI into their operational workflows in order to make their teams more efficient while saving on labor costs. Isabella, founder of Fame Hackers, AI powered marketing agency, generated over 98 million views on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, leveraging short form videos, UGC, and influencer marketing for Fortune 500, including Fortune Top 10, Google, and United Healthcare. Now she is building the public, exploring the AI space and its advanced use cases to make our lives easier in business. So thank you so much, Isabella, for coming on and talking about this. So many people we're using it, we're figuring it out, trying to say, okay, what can I really do? Is it really like a conversation? What are, all these different things? So many questions, so many things are happening with it. So let's jump into it. Let's start off by explaining what Chat GPT is for those that have been sleeping so they know what this tool is.
Sure, absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me, Melissa. I'm really excited to be here. Um, for those of you guys that don't know what ChatGPT is, it's the easiest way that I can explain it is basically an AI powered like Google on steroids. It's a chatbot that you can talk to, give it prompts, and it'll give you back information that you need. That is like probably the simplest format of explaining it.
Wow. So with this post that you did on LinkedIn, um, it was about LinkedIn carousels. Um, so many people, looking at the comments, everybody was like, wait, what? It does this, it does that. How did you figure out with ChatGPT those prompts to give you all of that information to create a carousel, which is simple but very informative? What did you do to figure that out, or was it just trial and error?
This is such a good question. So I guess like kind of like backtracking a little bit. I think when people get involved with AI, or at least like the Chat GPT craze in a way, I think what I've noticed is that you kind of have this like aha moment, like a breakthrough of realizing
Mhm.
the power of it. And that kind of happened with me. A few months ago, I opened ChatGPT. Everyone's talking about it. I had already used a little bit, but I decided, you know what? Let me actually put one of our clients' projects through ChatGPT and then figure out
Mhm.
if it can do the work faster than me. Um, and to my surprise, the first thing that this is kind of what got me obsessed with it was that it was able to create the market research, audience persona, pain points, desire points, buying behaviors, specific names of brands that this persona would buy from, and 30 content ideas for TikTok, all in a matter of like 1 or 2 minutes.
Wow.
That would have taken me at least, at least a couple of days, if anything, and a lot of brain power and just like a lot of typing away. So that was just kind of like, whoa, this is super powerful. What else can I do? And after that question sparked in my mind, it was just like every conversation I had, someone asked me a question. I was like, let me put it into a chat GPT. Let's see what pops up. Or
Yeah.
from like, you know, was a New York best selling publishing house and write an outline of a book, all the way through like recipes. Like, it's so random, but um, but it really is like such a powerful tool. So when I started experimenting with all these different things, I started realizing that you could create. Canva released a new feature called Book Create, and then I
Hmm.
realized you could actually get the prompt to give you the content in a table format, and you can upload that into Canva pretty quickly. So that was kind of what inspired that post. It was just a lot of just dealing with ChatGPT, a lot of communication back and forth, and getting a little creative each time perfecting the
Hmm.
prompts.
With this tool, well, wait, before we jump ahead, with all of those prompts, like you were saying, and just working with one of your clients, and doing this project and sharing it, publicly on LinkedIn, with the carousel, let's talk about why is that something that's useful to use, and why should businesses think about using carousels on their social media?
Definitely, yeah. Carousel is like the number one form of growth right now on LinkedIn. I heard about it through Sam Brown. I'm sure most of you guys must have heard of Sam Brown. Really awesome LinkedIn creator. And last year, I think he blew up. Like he got like 50K plus followers really fast through
Hmm.
the use of carousels and like the amazing content that he's always posting. But the problem that I kept seeing is that, and this is also a problem for me, is that it takes forever. It takes forever to create this carousel. You know, it's for anyone that doesn't know what a carousel is basically a PDF document, and it's just kind of like an ebook or like an Instagram carousel type of thing uploaded onto LinkedIn. So it's usually like jam packed with a lot of valuable information. Um, so I noticed that this is like the common problem that as creators on LinkedIn, we have to spend a lot of time or hire VAs or kind of like go around it. So implementing AI into the workflow of the design of the carousel is such a game changer because now instead of spending like 2 hours organizing every little text and graphic through the bulk create feature on Canva, you can do it in like minutes.
That is so true. Even with, I mean, with all of these different tools that's coming out, and I know we're not going to hit too much on Canva, but I know you use Canva to help create the design and all of those things for it. But while you are doing that and creating these carousels, all of these different tools, one, you don't have to have as many tools like we used to make all these different things happen. Technology is taking a turn to where it's trying to make it simpler, to where you could be in one platform or maybe two or three instead of five or six different platforms, to make this integrate with this integrate with this, and so forth and so on. They're starting to get smarter on what they have within that platform, so we can stay there, and that's the whole point, for us to stay there and utilize their tools and not going, all these different places. Now with Chat GPT, when it comes to social media and you want to create a prompt for a specific a brand and a particular topic, what are some of the things that you should probably outline first before you get in there and start trying to think through that, and start get to be a jumbled conversation, and not really, you're not getting what you need from a Chat GPT?
This is such a good question. The more specific the prompt, the better. So, you know, for something like this, like creating a marketing strategy, the first thing that the prompt should begin with is act as whatever kind of specialist or role you want it to embody. So this is how you start getting a little bit more specialized output out, right? So if you want, copy, if you want social media ideas, then you should say act as a social media strategist, and then give it instruction. We're going to create a LinkedIn carousel for specific target audience, and then you kind of start actually like explaining the project as if you were to explain it to like a coworker, an employee, or
Mhm.
something like that. But then you in the same paragraph, you also want to give it like a little bit more information. So, what is the format that it's going to give it to you in? Is it going to be in bullet points, in a table,
Mm.
in short paragraphs? What else do you need from it to provide to you? Maybe it's like, write the the content in the voice of Kevin Hart and make it, funny, and then it's going to give you like prompts. It's going to give you answers based on how specific you are with your prompt.
Well, I mean, you mentioned something really interesting is, I've been, of course, I've been using it, but something you just said is, make it funny like Kevin Hart or something. Why would you think to put something like that in there to kind of, if it's something funny you want to do, to actually call a person's name to say, hey, make it sound like, this person.
Yeah, it has it's like the voice. Like you can do celebrities like who was it? It was Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds did a commercial on for Mint Mobile, and it's the whole thing is talking about like ChatGPT, and he's like ChatGPT came up with a script, and he's like make like write my script for this commercial. Ryan Reynolds, add a joke, use the words A, B, and C, and it was funny because when Ryan Reynolds read it, he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like something I would say." So it
Wow.
has the capability to, especially for public figures, not for any average person, but for public
Right.
figures, it has kind of like the language of what they would sound like.
Now, this is, basically a conversation. Um, so many people are hesitant, with this AI because, I mean, technology has always moved fast, and I am a fan of that. It has always moved fast, but post COVID, it just just zoomed by, and it's like things are just happening like this, and it's just happening. We've always heard, in science in the labs where they're playing with the robots and things like that. We are starting to see them. I've seen posts where they're walking across the street with these guys, where they're putting them in commercials. All these different things are happening, and um I always think back to when the Jetsons was on TV, and so many people refer back to that. Is that, we had the flying cars, you had the maid that was a robot, they had the TV phones and all these different things, and you're looking at today of they just trying to kind of prepare us for, what's happening, and it's moving so fast, and so many people are still hesitant and, backing up in a sense of, um I don't want a robot to take over my life, or, I don't want these things to happen. Let's go back to, manually doing this and manually doing that. First of all, that's never going to happen. But for people that's still sitting in that space and just the fear of technology, AI, robots, all these things happening, what advice would you have for someone like that, whether they're building a business or just personal life? What advice would you have for them with all of this AI things that's happening?
Yeah, this is such a good question. The thing is that with AI, a lot of people fear that it's coming for their jobs. Maybe in the future, but right now it still needs humans to operate.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's kind of like the way that I see it is like this. When I was growing up, I remember I would go to like the library, by my house, and I remember that there was like a school, like a classroom, and it
Hmm.
was teaching people how to use Microsoft Word and getting a Microsoft Word certification in order for you to get like a better paying job and whatever the case is. And I think that's exactly what this is. It's another tool that we can use to our advantage, and those that learn how to use it and adapt early, those are the ones that are gonna get higher paying jobs, raises. I mean, just look at, the article that Bloomberg posted a few days ago. To be able to know how to write these prompts, it's called prompt engineering. They're offering, like, 300,000 plus a year for this type of role. So, it's one of those things of, like, you kind of either learn to adapt and coexist because it's hard to believe
Yeah.
that AI is here and all of a
Yeah.
sudden it disappears tomorrow. So it's like learn to adapt and coexist, or it's just like the sad reality that this is where people that use AI are going to replace people that are not using AI.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like my viewpoint on it.
Okay. So, do you have some examples, some prompts that you can show us in how we can kind of navigate with, ChatGPT?
Sure. You want to do a few live ones?
Sure, go for it. The stage is yours.
All right, let's do it. Let me open up ChatGPT. So, let me ask you this, Melissa. Like, who is the typical person uh that would listen to this live that we could really help with like a few ideas for prompts?
It will be professionals and small business owners.
Okay. And in your consulting firm, like, what is the number one solution that you normally help with?
Business development and branding.
Okay. So, uh, let's create a prompt here.
Okay.
All right, let me share the screen. Oh, and you were asking me earlier too, while I'm pulling this up. You were asking me to like about the prompts. So I posted this yesterday, and let me start with this page actually. I posted this yesterday on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Can you see my screen?
Hold
Cool.
on.
So I posted this yesterday on LinkedIn, pretty much asking ChatGPT to give us what the perfect prompt looks like.
Hmm.
That way it's really like not just me saying whatever, it's actually like here's what ChatGPT is telling us exactly how a prompt should be created.
Hmm.
The first one is like the act instruction, right? Like you are in this case we'll do an example for you. And then the context of what exactly you're trying to get it to do, the
Hmm.
question or the task, the limitations if you say like, don't make it over 500 words or whatever the case is.
Right.
And additional guidance is like the tone and all of that. So
Hmm.
if we're to start like a brand new prompt, um, let's just say um, act as a branding strategist and create a let's see, let's create a brand kit including logo design ideas. It's not going to create the graphics. It's just gonna, and most likely it's gonna respond back saying like I can't create
Hmm.
graphics.
Hmm.
It's not going to create the graphics. It's gonna give us like the actual text. So including color palette, using color psychology to
Ooh.
inspire, let's just say, trust and um, I don't know. What other feelings should we inspire?
Um, Emotions,
Emotions
engagement.
and engagement.
Yeah.
Um, include the media bio. To keep it simple, we can just say this for context.
Hmm.
The company is, and I'm just pretending that this is a client, right? The company
No, of
is,
course, of course.
yeah. just so that anyone doesn't think like, where'd she get this information from? Just pretending. Um, so for context, the company is, I don't know, pet grooming store, and it services labradoodles um, for uh, for families, for kids. And let's see what it comes up with.
Okay.
Logo design ideas, right? Pop print with bubbles or water droplet, the color palette, blue, green, yellow, the hex codes, the media bio,
Wow.
and yeah, you just have to kind of fill it in. Um, but isn't that pretty crazy?
Wow. That's crazy.
And then if you take it one step further, you can say like create the audience persona, including demographics, pain points, desires, buying behaviors, and specific brand names that would be a customer of this service. Demographics, pain points, the desires, the buying behaviors.
Wow.
There you have some specific brand names that they would purchase from.
Wow. Now,
And
scroll back up to where you had the colors.
yeah.
So I wonder because of what you said, what made us select those colors? And I see how it's given the meaning of the colors and everything, but I never would have thought to say, oh, hey, give me my color palette for these things. Wow.
Yeah, so I asked it like giving color psychology.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The color psychology is what made it like and again, this is just like a prompt that I remember like when I came up with this, I was just like thinking about my own use case of how to teach other people how to do this. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I wonder what happens if I ask for color psychology, and then that's what happens. It gives it to you.
Wow.
So the more specific, if you pretend that you're actually talking to a client, an employee, or someone where you're giving this
Mm-hmm.
instruction to, it's
Mm-hmm.
the same exact kind of specificity.
Wow. And I know for a fact that it works because when you did it was the carousel link, I actually split screen and I typed pretty much almost exactly what you said. I said, okay, let me see how this going to work. And there it was. It created the table. It did all of this stuff. And I was like, oh my. Okay. And I've used
Wow.
ChatGPT, I've put stuff in there. But that was just like, wow. And then now you're doing this with the colors. I'm still like, wow, okay. Okay. So it's really understand, and this is with any tool that a person is using, is really
Mhm.
understanding what it is and how to really use it
Yeah.
to get for its full function, because sometimes most of the time it's like, oh well, I'm gonna go over here and do this and not realizing you have it right there, in your hand. Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay,
Pretty crazy.
so what other prompt examples would you have for us?
So okay, so I know a question that usually comes up is how do we monetize this? Right?
Hmm.
Like how do we actually monetize this? How do we make money from this? And I think like tying this into to what other prompts we can use. So the way to monetize it is one of the ways is to introduce it into what you're already doing. So in my
Hmm.
case, for example, we have a marketing agency. So introducing this into our marketing agency, it only helped us to pump out more work for our clients, which allowed us to have more time to service more clients.
Hmm.
Now, I'm just gonna say like an underlying, a disclaimer. A lot of people have a big problem with like AI generated content. So I just want to make sure that everybody that's watching this, that if you do use ChatGPT to help you generate your content, because that's the next prompt I'm about to use, um, make sure that you actually humanize it, because what happens is if you're just copy and pasting the content that's coming out of chat gpt, it's too bland, it's too generic, and it's very
Hmm.
shallow. Like you can tell that a
Yeah.
robot wrote it.
Hmm.
So I would like to encourage, if anyone's going to use it for actual content, use it as a inspirational or as like a brainstorming tool, and then from there just make it your own or expand on it, add your human, your life experiences, your insights, your
Hmm.
all of that, and that's gonna allow you for the content to perform better. So
Hmm.
now that we have an idea for a business, and also this is also if you want to start a business, perfect thing. Now
Hmm.
that we have the idea for this particular pet grooming client, we have the audience persona. So the next thing that you could ask it is, write a 30-day content calendar for Instagram.
Interesting.
Now that we have the idea for this particular. So yeah, it's going now. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
And then now this is still very generic, right? It's not exactly what we want. So what we do is from there we would take, for example, from day one. So it's this is why I said it's kind of conversational, because I'm just going back and forth with it. From day expand on day one,
Hmm.
include a hook or a compelling headline. turn it into an Instagram carousel. Oh, carousel. With less than 8 slides, so you have your title and your call to action. Um, and what else? Oh, and um, and include insights or benefits and a CTA as the last slide. All right, yeah, because I'm expanding on day one. So slide 2, slide 3, and then it just keeps going. Now this is still too wordy, so you can ask it to rewrite it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so you can just say like rewrite it with less than 25 words per slide,
Mm.
and now it's more Instagrammable looking.
That's crazy how I remember the previous, almost like
Yeah,
you're talking to somebody, the previous, and you just say rewrite without having to redo the entire prompt.
yeah. It's like commands that you can keep going on and on. Um, so yeah, you have your idea number one. Pamper your Labrador like family at store name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from here, if you want to do bulk create, you can just say um, add it into or what add it into a table with columns, slide, um, headline, and subheadline. Oh, we didn't do subheadline in this one actually. So yeah, this is what you would copy then into your carousel, into your Canva. You would put this right here, erasing the subheadline. I just realized we didn't do a subheadline here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is what you would copy into Google Sheets, and you would
Mm-hmm.
just download it as a CSV and upload it into bulk create on Canva, and that's how you can have
Mm-hmm.
like a super fast carousel created.
Wow. So this is a perfect segue to get into, you are building an app with prompts.
Yes.
So let's get into that and talk about those prompts and those different. Oh wait, before we jump into that, you
Yep.
mentioned earlier one of your prompts that you did on how you was going to ask about graphic suggestions or whatever because it doesn't create
Yep.
graphics.
Yep. At the
Isn't
top.
there an AI now that's coming out that will generate graphics?
Yeah, there's actually a tool called there's a tool called logoai.com, I believe. Um, the tool that does generate graphics is also called Dolly, which is also by OpenAI. There's a bunch of them. Also in Canva, you have text to image as one of the features now, so you can type in a
Yep, that's
text
a
and
new
it'll.
feature. Yep.
Yep.
Yep, that was an unwrapped free feature. Yes, you're right. It is in Canva. So, okay, so let's jump into your app and what you are offering. Before we get into that, let's go to some of these comments.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There is someone from Pakistan, Samar from Pakistan that's jumped on. We have from Swiss, I'm assuming that's Switzerland, that has jumped on. So, and then this may be a personal friend. She said, "Hi,
Oh
is."
yeah.
So, Nikita, I think that's a personal friend that is jumping on. With running to her grand, our star is on live. There we go.
The irony though, the irony of first of all, hi Samar, hi Nikita, hi everyone else. Thanks for watching. The ironic part about it, hey Anthony, the ironic part about Nikita's comments that she's actually a casting director. So
Okay,
that's
Anthony
funny.
is. We got Miami on. So yeah, you are traveling around the world, my lady.
Love it, love it. Yeah, I used to live in Miami too. I just moved to South Carolina, but that's
Wow.
awesome. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay. So this is your tool that you have created to, is it integrated with ChatGPT or just to help with prompts for ChatGPT?
Yeah, so basically what I started doing is because I started using ChatGPT for everything that I did, it became one of those things of like, where can I store this? Where can I organize it? I started keeping a Google Sheet, but then the Google Sheet was just like getting a little wild. So I was like, wait, this
Hmm.
is something that people are, needing. This is going to be very, very
Yeah.
helpful. Um, so I just started putting it, publicly on a landing page. I turned it into a searchable database, and it's really cool because depending on what you're looking for, of course,
Hmm.
I'm still adding to this daily. This became
Hmm.
my internal SOP that I shared it with the world. Um, so you can actually, like, for example, pick your course topic. You can actually go through like step by step, asking the questions, reading through the answers. A lot of these things you have to also kind of give it in the brackets. You kind of have to give it a little bit of insight so that it actually gives you something that you're looking for.
Hmm.
But they're pretty much copy and paste. You can go ahead and drop them into ChatGPT. I started doing for like CMOs, for CSOs, CEOs, CFOs, kind of prompts that they would use.
Hmm.
And the whole purpose is just to make it easier for everyone. In addition, there's also like, tools. If actually this is actually something really cool. There's also AI for HR and DEI, which I thought was really awesome. You can tell, I think, with like this one right here, DI AI, you
Hmm.
can actually put in, like, for example, a company email, or like, copywriting, whatever it is for your company. You can ask it to make it more DEI, and then it'll make it like super inclusive, and it's really cool how it kind of like neutralizes that.
Hmm.
So same with HR. There's a lot of AI tools for like recruitment and stuff like that. So that's kind of just compiling AI tools, the price points, if there's trials or not, just making it easier for people to navigate this world that's moving so fast.
Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right. Yep, it's moving so fast. Okay. So with this tool, I know you say you're still building it, and I'm sure as questions and comments and different things happen, you're just adding, constantly adding to this. Um, is this eventually going to be something that is an actual app that people can download on their devices, or is it going to stay strictly web based?
To be honest, that's a good question. I'm not 100% sure yet. I assume it's a matter of time until ChatGPT creates its own built-in prompt library. Um,
Hmm.
but for now, it's just gonna be on this database, and also web-based, and also in the Slack community. We started a Slack community, and just helping other people navigate this tool, helping people
Hmm.
navigate this arena. But yeah, if it turns into an app in the future, that would be interesting.
Is this something free that
Yeah.
people can use?
Mhm. Yeah, it's free. You can subscribe if you want to, but it's a free subscription. There's no payment gate or anything.
Hmm.
Um, and if you subscribe, it's basically just to be in the email list for you to be like aware of new prompts that are dropping and stuff like that. But yeah, it's free to use. There right now, it's more of a working with brands and tools, and if anything, the monetization strategy, it'll be more of a back end brand partnership kind of deal. But yeah, I don't have any plans to monetize this anytime soon.
Okay. What are some of the, if you could, I know it's so many, but if you could think of five, the top five questions that people have about ChatGPT that is turning pretty much into like a common question.
Yeah, I think the common, well, it's a couple. The first one is like, what is that? How do you use it? What's the purpose of it? And and I think for that, it's just like the best way for you to understand it is for you to actually jump into ChatGPT and use it yourself. Ask questions that you would normally ask, yourself. One of my cousins, she works for this financing company,
Hmm.
and she knew about ChatGPT. She had heard about it, everything. But it wasn't until I was on a call with her and we started talking about how she could use it for her underwriting department that they're starting in house. And immediately I was like, you could do SOPs, you can do this and that and the other. And all of a sudden it was like a light went off and she was like, I need this. And now she uses ChatGPT in her day-to-day workflow at work. So it's one of those things that like everybody just kind of has to like experiment with it a little bit, like be like what, and then take it and start using it daily. The other thing that I normally see pop up is this is kind of like one of those things that we all have to remember that at the end of the day it needs humans to operate still, because I know a lot of people have existential crises when I
Yeah.
start talking about, and like the example I just did, especially if you've been studying branding and all of this and implementing it for a while, it's like, whoa, a machine just like replaced everything I did in like 2 seconds. um so I've seen a lot of people go down that path of like, what have I even been doing this whole time? But it's important to remember that at the end of the day, we still need humans. ChatGPT will give us maybe 80% of the way or 90% of the way faster to what we need to accomplish, but we still have to
Mhm.
go in and use our own logic to make sure if it's making sense, or
Yeah.
just because of our own experiences, we'll be able to see if it's actually, legit what it's giving you. Um, and that's something you can't really replace.
Okay. So, what are some myths that people are saying that about ChatGPT that's really not true?
So I think the number one myth, I think that's the number one myth. Going back to that, it's that the AI is going to replace their job immediately,
Hmm.
right? It's like people are fearful for it. They don't want to subscribe that like to this AI wave because they're afraid that it's it's not good, that it's a robot. Um, the other myth too, or maybe misconception, and I see this all the time as well, is the AI generated content, right? Like they don't really want people don't want AI generated content in the feed, and I 1,000% agree with that. But people miss the point that you use AI to expedite the creation of your content.
Hmm.
Um, as a creator, I've been creating content for like 2 years, and to create a piece of content before, I used to take quite a decent amount of time. Of course, the more I do it, the faster I got. But to know that I can just in a couple of prompts, I can pull pain points that I can target through content.
Hmm.
That's pretty game changer.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to what you said earlier is we have to remember that this is, a robot writing this. So
Yep.
is, humanizing it and not just say, okay, copy, paste, send. You want to read through it, change around some words and make sure there's some type of connection in what is being said. So
Mhm.
going back to what you said earlier, I think that is a very important point of remembering to humanize whatever you're creating.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So with the chat GPT, we know there's so many other things that's coming out. Do you want to talk a little bit more about, we talked about the prompt social media, um, with different content, we need to have newsletters, press releases, all different type of content, SOPs, um, job descriptions, all these different things that's out there. How would you say that a person should really you have chat gpt in their back pocket to make those things happen? And personally, how can someone, just an average person daily, utilize chat gpt?
This is you can use ChatGPT for and AI tools for literally almost anything that you could think of. There's a tool, I think it's called Chef GPT, which you you can
Really?
literally give it like the
I'm
ingredients
kind
in
of
your
replace.
fridge. Like, you gotta check it out. This one is so fun. You can type in the ingredients in your fridge, and on
Yeah.
the paid plan, I think it's like $20 a month or something. On the paid
Oh
plan, you can
wow.
say if you're counting macros, for example,
Yeah.
um, or if you're trying to pair it with wine, or if you're
Mhm.
trying to be a little bit more like fancy with the use of it, you just upgrade to the paid version. But if you use the free version, you can just put all your ingredients in the fridge and ask it to come out with like a recipe. And then you can just put like, on the you can put difficulty of how much you know how to cook or not.
Yeah.
So it's and this is called Chef GPT. Like it's another AI tool. So you can
Wow.
really think about it from like every perspective.
Okay, I wouldn't have thought of that one, but okay.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that
but
shows the way the world is going,
mhm,
of having all these different things for us to use technology. Yes, it's making our life easier. Yes, it may be downgrading some people from what they normally do, because
yeah,
now, okay, I don't need to hire this person, or I don't need you as much because of these AI tools. Um so I mean, it's the convenience of, but really understanding how to use it in the right way. And I think the tool that you've created is a great way to start, by utilizing your website for those prompts
thank you.
and all the resources that you're compiling on, that site. um,
Thank you.
what are some other things that we need to know about prompts in Chat GPT?
Yeah, prompts is like I said, it's the most specific that you can get with it. It's the saying that people usually say, you know, garbage in, garbage out. So you just gotta get really specific, just how we got specific in those examples. But also, as I look at the comments that are popping in, you know, Rob and Anthony are talking a little bit more about prompt engineering. So when it does come down to that, this is kind of like the hot skill in demand right now is
Mhm.
knowing how to write these prompts, and they call it prompt engineering. Um, this is such a fast moving field that I did see on LinkedIn. I was curious yesterday. I googled to see. I searched it in the job section to see if anyone had already posted it. I did
Wow.
see one company in the U.S. and it was like a medical. I think it was a hospital
Hmm.
that was looking for a prompt engineer. So we're only going to start seeing more and more of this. This is like I come from a marketing background, so a lot of the examples I use is like social media, but this is like when Facebook ads was just coming around, right? It took like a couple of companies to say, "Oh, Facebook ads, that's the move." Everybody goes on
Hmm.
Facebook ads, and then they're like, "TikTok ads." Boom, everybody goes to TikTok ads. So I think that's what's gonna happen with prompt engineering right now. It's new and people want it. They're paying a lot of money for it, and it's either, you know, you sit around and wait for it to be saturated, or you just jump in now and, you know, start learning headfirst AI and
Wow.
ChatGPT.
Mhm. Wow. Amazing. Questions. Anybody have questions? Start dropping your questions in the comments. If you're having issues or you want to know, here's your opportunity to ask a question directly, not in a comment page and wait for a response. Ask your question directly to Isabella and get a response. So drop those questions, comments, problems that you're having. um this is like, I don't even know what word to use except game changer, amazing, convenience. I mean, it's just, it's coming around so quickly, and I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, but I know a couple of times I've gotten on Chat GPT and it's like, oh, we can't respond right now. It's something, we're backed up or something, whatever it says. But it's just so many people on there right now that it's like, it's the capacity is like, I don't know if we can handle this. So they have to be working on something behind the scenes. I don't know what that is, but they have to be. Um, for those type of things, and like you say, your Google she start to get, overloaded, and that's why you did this. What suggestion would you have for someone that's creating their prompts, and they, after they play with it and they figure out, okay, this is the prompt that I need to ask, of course change a few words based on the situation. What is your recommendation on saving those prompts, or putting them in a bucket, Google Docs, Google Sheets, whatever it is, to start saving those? And how should they start compiling prompts for their brand, their business, or whatever project they're working on?
Yeah, this is a really good one. So I just started putting them in a Google Doc, like a Google Sheets, with a use case and stuff like that. And internally, like to our team, if I ever found a prompt, um, if I ever found a prompt that it was like beneficial for someone on the team, I would just like send them a message on Slack, like, "Hey, I saw this. It gave this output," and then it was awesome because I would then see all of our team members just start
Hmm.
expanding on the prompt, right, on their day to day. Because I'm not doing like their day to day roles or responsibilities. So it was really cool of just giving them like the starting point and then just seeing how they took it to the next level. Um, which specific use cases for them. So it's kind of like a SOP.
Hmm.
Um, and if anything, just kind of like there's a lot of SOP tools out there. So if you can just treat it as an SOP, and then if that is like the information that you're going to use for the time being, like for
Hmm.
example, company values, whatever, then you just store that. Um, but yeah, this is a really good question because it's like where do we keep all this information?
Yeah. Um. Wow. I mean, it's like it's so many, factors in there. So, um, someone put in the comments about a Chat GPT community. Do you have a group or something already together that people can join or drop in?
Yeah, we have a Slack community. I will let me see.
And whatever you're sending, that's the link or whatever for them to join to drop
Yep.
in.
Yeah, I'll send it here in a second. But yeah, we have a Slack community actually. Tomorrow we're doing a Zoom meet and greet. Just building community, just getting to know
Hmm.
everyone, and um, like Rob was just saying, right? Like if I'm tracking the success, and yes, actually, that's another to answer Rob and Anthony and Shanique. So yes, this is something that I first started using the prompts like for my own use cases for like
Hmm.
my own business and like our team and everything like that. And when I started building into this, and ever since the stuff that I've been posting on LinkedIn started getting more traction, people
Hmm.
started messaging me more, and I also kept asking people. So if you guys want to send me any messages of any prompts or anything that you would need help with, um, and that's how we started coming up with more and more. And I had someone ask me for how to create a course. Boom, the course prompts got created. Someone else asked me, like a little bit more specific use case for like something about school, um, like how to create like the policies for their school or something like that. So
Hmm.
went and created that. So it's something that we're building and we're building live. So if there's any use cases or anything that you want to see, like feel free to reach out and we'll put something together on the database.
Okay, here's another question. Are new prompts coming soon?
Yes. Yeah, so I was doing this probably like every single day for like 2 weeks. I was just filling it up with prompts.
Hmm.
Um and about here, sorry, I just posted the Slack in the LinkedIn. Yeah, and about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I started only on the weekends filling it in with prompts.
Hmm.
Just because the weekdays just got pretty crazy. But yeah, on the weekends right now, probably going to bring someone from the team to actually help keep that database uploaded daily or close to daily.
Hmm.
But as of right now, it's just like this is what I'm updating on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, we're gonna show this. This is the link. So anybody that's watching, grab this link and copy it down so you could join the Slack group. And what we will do in the Facebook, I'm sorry, on the YouTube, we're live on YouTube as well. We'll drop this in the, I get the link and we'll drop it in the comments on YouTube as well. So if you in a place where you can't really copy it down or anything, if you are, here you go. So this is the community to join in to be right next to Isabella to ask her questions. Um, so let's see, we got one more. Do people take your prompts as a baseline, then create their own refined prompts for higher fidelity output?
Yeah, so this is like case by case basis. Majority of the people that are using the prompts in there, of course, there's going to be things that you have to like, add different factors, different variables to make it unique to your case. Um, but we also started helping organizations do this as well. So we've been getting a lot of interest of organizations that want us to help them create their own specific prompts for their own specific use cases, and that's pretty much kind of like that's why it's a case by case basis. But the database is something that you can just customize to your own needs for sure.
Hmm. Okay. Any more questions for Liz? Let everybody know how they can reach out, how they can get in touch with you, your social media.
Sure, yeah. The best place is on LinkedIn. You can find me under Isabella Bedoya. My DMs are open, so feel free to reach out. And anything I can do to support you guys, feel free to message me or join the Slack group or the database. Anything at all. Feel free to reach out. Okay, so
Okay.
Anthony said the link isn't responsive. So if you go into the database, um, it's the second thing on there. It's the second box it should be. And if not, I'll update it after this call in case it expired or something.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, um, this has been very informative. Even though I've played around with it, and I won't say played around, I have used it. I'm surprised I haven't burnt it up yet. But even some of the prompts that you shared today, I wasn't aware of, or just really didn't think about. Yeah, I should ask this, or yeah, I should do this. So this has been very informative and educational for me as well. And we have a it was amazing. So people are, they're
Thanks,
happy that
Rob.
they had the chance to jump on. So let everybody know, like, your website again, let them know how they can reach you, connect with you, so we know you're on LinkedIn. We're going to also share the link to the AI tool as well, again,
Yeah.
so people can jump on that and support that. Any lasting words that you want to share about AI, your tools, your prompts, chat GPT, anything?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I hope this was helpful for everyone watching. Thanks for tuning in. And just one parting note is that I know it's a little scary to deal with AI. I know it's a little scary to fear for like the future of everyone's jobs and livelihoods, but I just want everyone to remember that at the end of the day, humans matter, you matter, and it's going to be more of a competition between people who use AI versus people who don't use AI. So, um, I just hope that I hope it gives everyone a little bit more of a better feeling because I know it can be a little scary to think about AI in that sense.
Wow, this was truly informative. So, anybody that missed this, you can always go back to the replay on our YouTube. And Isabel, she's on LinkedIn, so you can just sit back and watch her posts and you'll learn a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. So thank you
Thank
again
you.
for coming on, and everybody else that has joined us.
Thank you so much.